Fellas, I have, and I'm sure you have heard, women say nothing like a well-groomed man. I have the solution to meet your hair grooming needs. Next Level 2 Barbershop with 2 locations in the upstate. 1559 Lawrence Road, Greenville, South Carolina, and 261 West Butler Road, Malden, South Carolina. With operating hours 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Ladies, I didn't forget about you either. On staff, beautician available at the Malden location, as well as a loctician to meet all your lock and braiding needs. Before you step out, step in to one of the 2 locations and take your grooming to the next level.
Real Fantasy Podcast.
You could say a little, or you could say a lot. Dreams are what you ask for, real is what you got. Take a few shots with a queen on the line, a rose in the middle, with love on the side. It's all a vibe tonight. It's all a vibe tonight. Make sure you tune in tonight.
Real Fantasy Podcast.
Yo, it's your girl Victoria Rosa, and I got my co-host
Chantel Wilkins, also known as the Tax Queen.
The Tax Queen. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. This is Real Fantasy Podcast on I Say Podcast Network, recorded at the Gym Complex, 808 South Pleasantburg, Greenville, South Carolina. And let's get into it. So I know you had an adventure this weekend, taking on what was it?
Yeah, so my husband had a show that he performed at Juneteenth. So I was not raised in an all-black home, so I learned a lot at this event. And I've also learned that it's been going on for years. And I just think that it's absolutely super interesting. So basically what Juneteenth is it's a holiday that is celebrated on June 19th to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved people in the U.S., the holiday was first celebrated in Texas, where on that date in 1865, the aftermath of the Civil War, slaves were declared free under the terms of the 1862 Emancipation Proclamation.
Was it proclamation?
Yes,
proclamation.
Because it became a holiday on June 16th of 1866, but it became a federal holiday last year. And that's something that we're celebrating every year now. So,
and it's crazy that, and I know it's going to sound crazy. I didn't know anything about June 16th,
really?
Until 3 years ago, which is,
yeah.
But you got to think I'm in the Bible, but I'm in South Carolina. This is where I've been born and raised. So we never really talked about slavery until I got a little older. But what did you experience when you went to the festival with your husband?
So basically, they had a lot of different little areas. Like vendors were out there to, small vendors were out there to, let us know about their small businesses. And then they also had poetry for people, they things that they like to do. And then they taught us a good bit about the history and how it all started and things like that. So I really enjoyed it, learning where we came from. And
in the beginning, I want to know, because Joe Biden actually made this a federal holiday, which was last year, and I feel like he did that to pacifiers. We still waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. So you give us this one holiday, where's our reparations?
Right.
So I don't mean to downplay Juneteenth, but I feel like we deserve way more than what is given to us. Do you think this holiday was given just to pacify us?
I think that it could have, because we've not heard of it until recently. I know I haven't. So if we've been celebrating this, how come this hadn't been happening? How come
we didn't learn about this?
Right.
What is it? Black History Month.
Exactly, and those weren't the things that we ever talked about. So. I mean, like, just this information, you know, I really do think that he did just kind of
just gave it
to
to
be
us.
quiet for right now to make us feel important for a short time.
And my thing is too, like, all the funding that was supposed to be get to these primarily black colleges, it was never given to us. It was actually stripped away by Joe Biden. Then he turned around and gave us Juneteenth. So that to me, that was kind of a slap in the face on top of everything that we do deserve within. I'm going to say indigenous because I'm not going to say I'm African American, because that term was actually brought up, mid-1900s. And that a lot of people that's here is not from Africa.
Right,
So
yeah.
it used to be Negroes. It used to be indigenous. It was indigenous people, then it was Negroes, then it went to African American. I don't clarify as African American. And I am going to go ahead and switch everything. Like, if I do an application, I don't put African American anymore, because I know, like, truly I was here. But the thing is, even what happened when they had the big thing with the Chinese people and he gave them reparations, we still haven't received anything. You funding Ukraine, you still haven't funded the natives, or can I say the darker hue people. We haven't received anything from this. And then June 19th, you just give it, I'm gonna give you a holiday, and I don't want to downplay it, because it does, again, goes back to 1866 when we finally got free. But was we really free then?
Right. I mean, yeah, I think that, you know, like with, although they, you know, set the slaves free, but they still didn't have anything, you know, like, where were they going to go? Like, we didn't have businesses. They weren't taught, you know, so, I mean, I understand, but I mean.
And that goes to, what is it Tulsa? Where they actually, where we had the Black Wall Street, and it was actually bombs dropped on us when we were started to build for ourselves. Or even here in South Carolina, where they flooded a whole city. Was that South Carolina or was it Georgia? Well, they flooded they flooded it, and it's under a lake right now of African American having farmlands. Where
it was in Georgia.
It's in Georgia, which is really
the city
close here.
under the water. It's Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier, where they actually flooded Lake Lanier because
and the city is still under the water. Right, like right now, it's still underwater.
So it goes back to the same, even with enslaved people when they were free. The Emancipation Constitution goes into an amendment. That wasn't actually free, because if you was a slave and you was out loitering, now I can enslave you via a jailhouse. If you don't have nowhere to go, we can imprison you.
Right.
So it's just I feel like it's a big slap in the face. But I mean, what do we do to move forward, you know, within a nation with something like this? And again, I didn't know about none of this until I got older, which was crazy, because when I was younger, I didn't see no color.
Right.
I didn't know nothing about Malcolm X. I knew Martin Luther King. He had a dream, but I didn't know in depth that what kind of dream that he had. And me personally, I think it was the biggest mistake that Martin Luther King wanted a lot of people to unite within America, because if we were able to, and I'm not saying segregated to the point where black people wasn't going to be able to get along with white people, but if we would have had our own, we would have been able to build, like, you have little, what is it, Chinaville? Is it called Chinaville? Chinatown. And almost every major city, what do we have for African Americans, as they call it? We don't have anything, right? You have the Jewish coming here, and they basically own America. They got the banks, they got a lot of stuff, and I feel like if we didn't segregate, we would have been able to rebuild that as a community and been able to spread out our wealth just like everybody else, to have an equal playing field with it. But June, I don't want to downplay Juneteenth. I was getting ready to say 16th. And to talk about it too, in South Carolina. How long you been in South Carolina?
I've been here since I was 5. So
South Carolina had like the biggest slave plantation, and it was in Brook Green plantation of Georgetown, Georgetown County. It was one of the biggest plantations in the United States, and it's crazy how we were so far off of, because slavery was basically here when my grandma was a child, and she's still alive. When my mom was a child and my grandma was having children, this is still going on, and it's right here in our backyards, and we never really seen it for ourselves. It was like, how we not know this? And then again, it's like, we have children. You have daughters, and I have daughters. Like, to teach them something like this, and then like, how is that possible? Mommy, ain't no way. Like, do you think it's beneficial to teach the children about that, or just let them live life without any worries?
I mean, I honestly think from me not knowing, like, our history, I think it's very interesting. And to me, I really do want my girls to know, like, where we came from, because that matters.
Yeah.
You know, and like with my kids, like, even going through school now, they teach them, you know, the basics, but it's not anything in depth of like where we, like, who we really are, you know. And I think that when we really start finding our purpose and who we are as individuals, like, knowing our history plays a big part. So.
Right. And my daughter, like, it's crazy because I have a daughter that's in 3rd grade, and I have a daughter that's in 6th grade. So when they talk about like Thanksgiving, I said, ask your teachers, what's the true meaning behind Thanksgiving, and should we be celebrating? And my daughter that's in, what do you mean, Mommy? I said, Thanksgiving is not a holiday that we should celebrate. It's where they came and actually killed numerous native people to get the land.
Yes, and they're celebrating that. Yeah,
and then she was like, well, what about Pocahontas? Pocahontas was captured, raped, and took to another foreign land by a man that came over here and said that he discovered America when he didn't. And she was like, well, how am I supposed to tell your teacher? I said, tell your teacher to explain the facts and not explain fairy tales. It's not like they came over here and like, oh, we're gonna collectively come in together. No, they came in, destroyed this, destroyed that. Like my grandma to this day, root, go get this root, put it in there. We used, back in the day, my grandma used to say, eat red dirt. Eat red dirt. Like, but now you can't even find like true red dirt.
Why do you eat the red dirt?
It was something like, it was embedded, like, I mean, she's native of this land, so the land was, you live off the land, everything that your body needs is off the land. So when something like a particular situation happened, my grandma said, go get red dirt, and she'll get this root and get the red dirt, and it heals you. Like, that's just what it was. And I can't teach my kids this because we don't even have natural red dirt that we can actually go in and dig, or go in and get this root, or go. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is factual. Like, it actually is factual, because everything, you can heal your body through everything natural.
Right. I understand.
Dr. CB got killed for it because he was telling the truth. But yeah, it's like, I know it's crazy. Get that red dirt, girl. Go out there and get some red dirt. And my mama name is Misty. Misty, go out there and get them baby some red dirt and eat that red dirt. And when I had my first child, my mama used to say, back in the day we didn't do this. And I used to have to tell her, you know how much has changed from back in the day. And my mom always say, God damn it, kids come out the same goddamn way they came back in the day. And I was like, you out, and didn't know it at the time, but thinking back on it, absolutely correct. What have changed? If these women were surviving without laying in a hospital bed with these fluorescent lights back in the day and still having kids, why are we doing it now? Why are we paying $50,000 to have a child when we can have a child at home for free?
I guess, for complications like me, per se, giving birth, I couldn't go out here and squat and, have my baby like they did back in the day because I had complications. So I probably would have died in the field.
Well, I say don't think about. Well, I look at it like this. Was it complications because you were hurting, or
No, it was complications because, like, my baby was too big for
your
me.
vagina?
Yeah, so it was like, so what? Basically, I just could not naturally give birth to her because, like, my hips weren't spreading the way we're supposed to spread.
You know, that's what they told me. They said, well, they told me that I carry small, but when she came out, she was too big, which I got split from my hoo-ha to this where it actually,
Right.
but in the same sense is, you probably could have had that baby natural. You probably could have had the baby natural.
Yeah, but I guess I'm just thinking, like, me experiencing this moment, like when I was in labor trying to give birth naturally, and then her like getting stuck like in the birth canal. So like I couldn't. There was no more movement. Like her shoulders were too broad, and it's like she was just stuck in between like my bones, like her shoulders.
Yeah.
So like, how would I have?
So you had a C-section. Well, I guess in a situation like that, but how did they do it back in the day? It has to be
Right.
some
That's what I'm
kind of-
saying. Like I don't.
some-
Yeah.
some
They done
kind of
something to back in the day to relax you, I guess, and for you to be able to
natural
naturally have.
herbs to loosen your body up, to relax, you know.
And I'm sure they exercise, back then, because I didn't do a lick of that. So that could have been,
Stretching out, doing
Right.
a couple of,
a lot of
really.
people, they do a lot of exercise when they're pregnant and they stretch, and I did none. I did zero. Because then I had no idea. I'm just like, okay, well,
Okay, I'm just gonna lay here.
yeah, we're going to have this baby. I'm going to do what I'm told so I can get this up out of me.
They told me with both of my pregnancy that I was on bed rest.
Really?
Absolutely not.
You didn't, did
Hell
you?
no. No, I was not. They told me in the beginning, they said, oh, you're not gaining any weight. Basically the last trimester, actually the last 2 months, month and a half, I went from 150 to 207 within because I'm like, okay, now I got to eat because I'm scared my baby's not getting what. And then he tell me I come back in, well, don't do that. You're going to be a diabetic. You're eating too much. What do you want me to do? Like, help me out. I don't know.
Give better instructions.
Tell me what you. But she came out 10 days late, my first one, and my second one came out actually 10 days early. So, which was crazy to me. So, it has to be some kind of power in the number 10, you know what I'm saying? But, so, I want to ask you, too, with this. Growing up in a biracial family, your mom was white, right? Where were your mom from?
She's from Germany.
Germany. Did she ever tell you anything about the culture in Germany?
She did not.
No? Do
No.
you ask her?
Well, so I have asked, I've asked her, but she didn't really know. I've talked to my grandma before she passed, and she's told me a little bit, but not much, because like when she married in, my grandfather was a part of the Army or the Navy. I met him one time before he passed away. Yeah, so like I really just didn't get a lot of history from them. I don't remember her telling me anything.
Anything in regards to it. So was it different for you actually being a mixed child when you were growing up with your mom being Caucasian? Was it any kind of, did you have any, like, was it different? Like,
it wasn't easy growing up, being biracial, because I the whole bullying thing, it's way worse than it was back then now for, our kids. But I guess like back then, 20 years ago when I was in school, it just wasn't common, to see a biracial child or to see black and white. And so I guess it is, kind of tough. And then even with me still being biracial, a lot of people think that I'm Hispanic and my husband is black. So like I've encountered a good bit of things. Like we went to the flea market one weekend and we were trying to buy some soap. And the lady was a black lady. She wasn't from here. She had to have been from some foreign country. But, we wanted to get, like, some soap, and she wouldn't sell it to us. Like, she told, like, we had to go get cash because we didn't have any cash. She only took cash. And so we was like, we'll be right back. And then we come back. She wouldn't sell us the soap. But, like, she said that the soap was already sold, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of felt some type of way, because it's like she only wanted to help people of color or maybe people that are dating in the same race, you know, because I don't look black. I don't look mixed, you know, so people are just like, what are you? What are you? You know, where are you from? I was like, I'm biracial, I'm black and white. You know, I speak English. I don't know a lick of Spanish, although I've tried. But, you know, it has been a challenge with the name calling. But I guess I didn't let it, you know, bother me as other people let things like that bother them. So
I never had that issue, and a lot of people ask me, what do you mix with? And that's offensive to me. And I'm just like, I'm black and black. What do you mean? Like, what do you want me to say? I'm like, my dad's black, my mom's black. I'm not Spanish. I'm not mixed.
I think it's like more our facial features because we do look, you know, kind of Hispanic in our eyes, you know, like with the dark. Maybe they just, you know, we just don't look like we belong.
And then, you know, if I would have encountered that situation, I would have explained to her, like, do you understand? Like, I would have had to talk to her. I would have had a conversation with her just to see where her mind is at, you know. What's going on? Why are you not doing this? Is it because that you think that I'm a different nationality? What is it? Because I'm the type of person that needs to know. And if I don't know, I can't get an understanding of what you're thinking to figure it out for myself. So, but I want to ask you, do you think that growing up in a biracial family, did it hinder you from actually seeing like the racism, the bigger picture of racism down south?
Yeah, like I had no idea it was the way it is, you know, because I didn't see color, and I still don't, you know, because like I told everybody else, like, you cut me, I'm going to bleed just as well as you will, you know. It's just that my melanin works a little harder than yours does, and I'm a little darker, you know what I'm saying, than you, but just like being out here and not knowing, like I kind of feel like, I don't know how, you know, I left behind, you know, like I'm just, you know, I don't know, and I feel a little clueless, and I don't like, you know, to feel clueless. So like I'm trying to learn as much as I can and to educate myself, because I just kind of feel like I let my, you know, my ancestors down, not even knowing about our history, because I think that we should all know something
About
yeah, you know, like, you know, where do I need to start or who can I talk to? But like on my mom's side, and like none of them spoke English, they all spoke German. So that's another reason I really couldn't get history, because I can't speak German, and all of them did. So
it was like
it was hard, you know, and we didn't have any other family down here, so it's not like I could call somebody else and they would be able, you know, they would know or tell me, because it was just us.
So your mom didn't want to teach you her actual native tongue.
So I don't think it's just that she did not. I think that when she got here, she just didn't utilize it the way she normally did. So like being here, she just kind of, like, if you don't use the language, you lose it. I mean, honestly, and German is a very hard language to learn after you're much older. So with my grandma and my aunt, like, they spoke it very fluently. You know, all of mine except for my mom. She's the baby next to my uncle. But like, they didn't speak German very fluently. Like, she can speak it, but it's not like as fluent. So I just don't think that even my mom knew, honestly. Like, I think that
she knew she understood it but couldn't speak it.
Yeah, she could speak some of it, but she couldn't have like a full-blown conversation, you know, back and forth, like how we're having a conversation in English. Like, she couldn't do this constantly in German. Yeah. Like, she can pick like bits and pieces of what's going on in the conversation from her, you know, knowing it when she was younger.
So going in with as a child and as an adult, do you think what side do you connect with more? Your father's side or your mom's side? Like, do they say that, oh, you too white for this, or you're not black enough for this, even when you were growing up?
I mean, like, I don't. A lot of people don't say I'm black enough for anything. You know what I'm saying?
And I never, like, I met you a long time ago, and I just thought that you were black. I don't know what it is. I just thought you was Indian and black. I never thought that you were mixed with white. So I was just like, I never considered you white. I just considered you black, because that's what I seen. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess like it's the people I guess I surround myself with. Because like I have a sister, and we're night and day. So my sister's more hood, and she is gonna tell you exactly how it is, whether you know, you like it or not. Me, I'm just like, you know, it's okay. Let's get an understanding, or like, you know, like let's unpack this situation so that I can better understand. And my sister's like, hell no, like no, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it just doesn't. You know, I don't. I guess it doesn't really bother me, because I guess like whenever I'm with people, I'm able to, you know, fit in the conversation. I'm able to relate, because although I might talk proper, like we've been through the trenches, like we came from the struggle, just like a lot of people. So we got here, you know, one step at a time. So,
So do you relate more to one half more than the other?
yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of in the middle, honestly. I don't think that I relate more to my white side. Although, you know, I could switch that flip on and get a job really quick, you know. And then, like, if I'm, you know, pissed off, I guess. I guess I can't just say I'm solely, like, relatable to, like, the black side, or solely relatable to the white side. I'm kind of neutral. I'm in the middle. So.
And what I could say, my family is actually, on my dad and my mom's side, they are native. We have my grandma, she's this kind of Indian. My dad, he's this kind of Indian. You know, and his dad is, you know, Irish. And his mom is actually native Indian. I don't get into depth of that because I'm native. I'm darker color hue. I don't get into depth. If you want to call it, I'm black. So nobody ever asked me, are you mixed with white? But they were like, you got to be exotic. Yeah, exotically from these damn lands. Born and raised in South Carolina, you know. So I can understand. When I was growing up, my family used to always say, blonde hair and blue eyes are the devil. She like literally, like they used to say, don't sit there and them blonde eye, blue eyes devils. And I could never understand what they used to talk about, because I'm like, and I hung around a lot of white people when I was growing up. I hung around more Spanish people than anything. Like I grew up around Spanish culture with my friends, but I never could understand it until I had to ask my mom. I was actually in high school. What does that mean? And she broke it down to me. And I'm not going to go into it, but I'll go into it off of it. But she was just like, you know, and that's when I actually started learning about the history of being enslaved and slavery and what was going on. And I actually took the time to figure it out with myself, like, how can I be so naive to this? But am I glad that it wasn't brought to my attention when I was younger? Because would that make me grow up and not see everybody as one? Or would it make me be separated from my peers when I was younger?
So, I mean, like, if that was, like, so with me, I'm all for, like, making a change. Like, why are we still battling like this? Like, why is this such an issue?
Because
you know,
it's reality. And then my boyfriend say, again, he say racism don't exist anymore.
But it does. I mean, it's still here. People are still, you know, acting uncivilized about the situation. You know, I guess I just don't understand, like, why we're continuing this. To me, it makes no sense, I guess. You know, and, like, we're all here. We all have to survive. We all have to go to work. You know, like, why are we still on this whole racism thing? Or because, I mean, like, even in the corporate world, like, with working, women versus men. And, like, for instance, my husband, like, we could go get the same degree, the same education, everything. My husband could go walk into a corporate office and get paid $100,000. I can go into a corporate office and get paid $50,000 with the same education, the same knowledge, everything. Why is that? Like, why are we continuing to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we as the people come to one understanding
collectively to say that we're all equal? And I hate I'm not going to get into this topic because it'll take me a long time. But to me, it's more of a spiritual level that what women have to offer, and why that we have a place in a male-dominant world where we have to be put this way, or all of a sudden it's going to unbalance what America is actually built on. And we already know what, to me, America is built on. it's the hierarchy of white people. Of what it's just what they came over here, they came and conquered, and they can't allow women, hue color people, to come and take that away. So they'll rather give it to a man, even if he is a different color than a woman, because you have to know your place. And then they give it to a man. Your husband can come in the same position with a white man that has the same degree and have that. He's gonna get 100,000. The white man's probably gonna get
200,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's levels to it. So we ain't gonna get into that because we can do my conspiracy thing on another thing. So tell us a little tip. Talking about corporate America, how are we gonna be able to have our own business where we don't have to walk into an office and say, "Oh, here's my resume." Well, we can make the same amount as my husband, my boyfriend, and hire these people of what they're worth.
So basically, with starting a small business, I think that picking out a good niche that is actually going to solve a problem so that you can stand out from your competition. I think is definitely a good start. And then also understanding your niche inside out, like when you're, so like for instance, so if you're, creating a product, so let's say we're creating something for a snoring product, because in your marketing, you're going to want to make sure you're focusing on that niche. To relay the message on how you can help these people. So like if you're doing something for snoring, you're going to show that how frustrating it can be to sleep, or like there's just no way I'm going to sleep when somebody's snoring. It's just not going to work. So we're going to have to get you out of this room or we're going to have to create some type of device, so that's my message I'm getting across to the people or to my target audience. So I think that, one thing is making sure, like we said previously, is making sure you plan and put things kind of in place and have an understanding of what you need to do on a daily basis to market your small business.
So with marketing, and I know marketing is a major part of business.
Absolutely.
But I also heard that in a corporate America, if you see something marketed, it's not worth the value because they invest in so much in the marketing, the product is not as good as it should be. Take, for instance, fast food restaurants. We know what we eat at fast food restaurants is not good. But all we see is McDonald's commercials, Burger King commercials, and we know these products are not good. So what is a healthy balance with marketing and actually the actual quality of your product?
Your customer service, honestly, because a lot of small businesses, just because you own your own business, like you think that you can talk to these people any type of way, and at the end of the day, you have to, the way I look at it is like you really have to understand your customers' needs, because anytime that someone's going to come back, so you're going to McDonald's, you're expecting to pay something for for $10 a meal, and you know that it's not going to be top notch. But if I go to Chick-fil-A and they don't give me something, it's a problem, because those are the expectations that they have set. For instance, I went to Chick-fil-A and they didn't give me a straw. That's not like Chick-fil-A. Like, I always have everything I need. So I'm just like, what is happening with Chick-fil-A?
Right.
So, and you have to do that in your business also, is to make sure that with those clients, you're setting those expectations and meeting their needs, and not, because a lot of people, they overbid and overpromise. So, I can do this, and this for you. And then when you get them and onboard them, they don't have this, and this. And they're just like, okay, now I'm pissed. I want my money back. But instead of giving them their money back, as the entrepreneur, listen to their problem. What did they expect? Try to figure out what you can do to solve their problem, to create a long-term relationship with this person, because it only takes one person to badmouth your business.
I had seen something on TikTok with girl went to a nail shop, and she had so many followers. The lady refused to take her nails off, and it wasn't. She was a black woman. She wasn't rude. It was just all of a sudden, it's like they had a little disagreement. The Vietnamese lady got up, went crazy, left out. Another lady had to do her nails. She's recording the whole thing. Then she goes on TikTok. Everybody went on TikTok that follow her. It was a corporation, a Change Corporation. gave 1 star. The general manager had to call her and was like, can you please take your TikTok down? What can we do to fix this? And she was like, I need an apology from Cece. Cece was the one, and Cece kept saying, I'm not racist, but I'm not going to do something for you that I don't want to do. So the owner called, but that little incident caused they Google 5-star rating to go.
Drop, yeah.
So if she just would have simply apologized and had good customer service, like you were saying, that you wouldn't have been able. She wouldn't have been able to lose that many people. Yeah, I completely understand.
You have to position yourself when you have a business. Like, you have to position yourself as the CEO. So the ratchetness, you flipping out on people, like, that is not it. You know, these days you have to have an understanding. You have to position yourself as the boss that you say you are, you know, and just doing those things, like, it's just not going to take your business anywhere. And especially with all this going on.
I do see a lot with the with small businesses where it's like, why am I paying this much for you and I can go to this person and pay less amount? And I have to sit here and explain to people, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, these corporate, they get shipments and bulks to make the price, the quantity, they make the price lower. What you're getting from mom and pop's is the personal experience. Exactly. And you have to think that we pay more for this. We're not going to get this in our quality. We pay for our quality, and we don't buy it in bulks where we can afford to get all the hairstylists coming together and get one venue and ship off $60,000 and we split that amongst each other where we can get the price cheaper. We actually doing this on our own, so our products are going to be a little bit more because we have to physically pay out our pocket and we have to make a profit, and I actually have to buy our products. And a lot of people don't understand that either when it comes to that.
I mean, with a small business, like, we are different from the big $1 million, billion-dollar corporations. We give value, and that's what separates us. So basically, like, even with my clients, yeah, you can order from Amazon, but if I'm selling you, let's say I'm selling waist trainers, you can buy a cheaper waist trainer from Amazon from some random person, or you can buy the waist trainer from me. But if you buy the waist trainer from me, I'm going to make sure it fits you good. I'm going to make sure that you're comfortable in it. You know, like, how do you feel? I'm going to, you know, follow up, and just that little piece, that's that Chick-fil-A piece that you need to start building that relationship. Because now that we have this conversation, hey, Megan, guess what? I got this waist trainer. It looks good on you. Where you get it from? And now I'm going to tell other people about your business, and that's what's going to grow your business. And, I mean, like, the billion-dollar corporations, yeah, they're good. Like, take Disney World. Now, everybody's perfect. Disney World, they have bad ratings. You know what I'm saying? They're not perfect, but people spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to take their kids there. You know, and it's the same way with a small business. You have to show up as a CEO, and you have to give that value, you know, to let them know, like, this is not just a waist trainer. This is the waist trainer, you know. So
the victorious waist trainer, you know.
Yeah, so.
And the thing you should get out of this is Chick-fil-A quality. And I don't know if you guys are not from down south, but Chick-fil-A is the best when it comes to customer service.
Yes. They'll make you have a good day on a bad day. Like, no matter what you're doing, it's my pleasure to serve you. Okay, let me get this too.
And thank you. Yeah. They're like, anything else, ma'am? No, thank you. Are you sure? Well, you have a great day.
Yes.
You too.
We need that type of customer service.
That is amazing. When I get my business, start selling hair, I have Chick-fil-A quality. As a matter of fact, I have the quality of top of the quality, just like Chick-fil-A. Yes. So we about to get into this. I have to play y'all this clip, man. And before I get into this topic, I need y'all to hear this.
My shit, your shit, I shit.
You just gotta hear this, and that's what it is. My shit, your shit, I shit. And we about to get this thing started. Listen to this.
Ooh, I got one. Marriage. Marriage is a big ass scam. It doesn't benefit the woman at all. All we do is take on more work and take on additional children, including the ones we birth and the one we married to. In addition to that, they expect us to do all of the housework, all of the children rearing, everything that they felt like their grandmothers and their mothers were doing or did do. And I gotta go to work. And I gotta pay bills. And I gotta do all kinds of other shit for his ass. No, marriage is the biggest fucking scam that's ever been pulled on a female. I tell all of y'all, stay the fuck away from that shit.
And as it says, it says stay the fuck away from that shit. That was one of the funniest things that I've heard, because again, I'm not married. And that was basically saying, like, what is one of the things that people don't tell you about to be prepared for? So she was like, marriage. So I was like, okay. So I want to ask, because I know a lot of young women, they like, fuck that. I'm trying to get a check. I'm not trying to listen to no man. Ain't no man going to tell me what to do, when, where, how I could go, and what I could do. So their goals is not to get married anymore. Like, I ain't get married. I take care of me. I do me. I can have a kid by you. I take care of my kid. I don't need you. Mm-hmm. I know you are married. So I want to know how to maintain a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship. And that include, like, love, friendship, how to maintain that, especially in a society like this. But how did you maintain that? That's my main question.
So let me get this.
Go on the slide. She got to slide that mic up into it. Tell me what it is.
So really, it's just, being best friends. Keeping the communication open and clear. Have a understanding. So I don't know what type of man she felt. There are a lot of men out here that don't have their together. You know what I'm saying? But there are good men out here. And thank God that he sent me one of those. So it's really, like being in a marriage, I guess it's kind of like a business. Having a conversation with your significant other, like I said, having an understanding, also keeping the spice in your marriage. As Josh and I have been together for 12 years. We've been married for 9. And the road has not always been easy. Like, you are taking 2 separate people that were raised in 2 separate households, uniting them as one under one roof to get one understanding. So it's tough, but as long as y'all can, come on, honey, we got to have a conversation. Grab your drink, because it's probably not going to be pretty, and if you are not good with your alcohol, don't drink. Because it's probably going to get... I
get emotional.
But the conversation, it just needs to happen. And if you guys can come, under one understanding, then that's even better. And with our housework, we take turns. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. My husband owns his own business, and it's not me doing all the housework. My kids do their laundry. Mm-hmm. And we do our laundry, and we make sure that things are done. So we tag team. So you have to be able to work with another person to be able to make it work.
So what happens, like, let's get down to the nitty gritty, because, what happens when y'all have like a big ass argument, right? And it's like, y'all on both ends, you're so frustrated that you can't get a word out, you can't get an understanding, and at this point you're so angry that you have to separate from each other at that moment. Do he leave? Do you leave? Or is he taking his ass in the other room and go ahead and sit down and we're gonna relax?
Exactly. We're gonna take a little minute. You go downstairs, I'm gonna stay up here, or I go downstairs. I'm going to my office. I'm getting away from you for a minute. And I have to work, calm down, and then we're going to have this conversation again. But I don't think that in a marriage that, with you arguing and then him sleeping in another bed, I don't think that that's idea, or you guys arguing and then him leaving with that open anger, in your marriage, because that's when the devil gets in and shit happens. So you guys need to have, separate for a minute and then come back. And if you guys are not able to come back together, then you guys need to get someone else involved, more like a counselor, a marriage counselor, to be able to help you guys get on the same page. Because sometimes when stuff happens and your emotions are involved with this person,
especially coming from women.
Exactly. It's hard for us to calm down and to really listen to our significant other when we're just pissed and we know what you is fucking up out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Would you change anything different? You got married when you were younger, right?
Yes.
So you got married when you were younger. Would you change anything different when you first met, or how you got married, or when you got married? Would anything change if you could change it?
No, absolutely not.
Mm.
I mean, Josh and I, we have gone through a lot of shit, and there's no sugarcoating. Like, we've been through the trenches, and that's what made us who we are. Like, that's what made our bond the way that it is.
Yeah.
And how we are able to communicate with each other the way that we can. It's not like I'm communicating with just my husband. It's a friend, because I think that's important.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to have a friend and your husband to be able to have a conversation. Because I mean, like, and we've even like us being together. Like, Joshua's even like, okay, well, I'm your girlfriend right now, and I had done like this little, you know, on Snapchat, you could change their face to make it look a woman, and I'd done that to him, you know, so that we can be relatable.
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever you need to do, you know, he's doesn't mind. He likes to listen, and that's a good thing, you know, to have someone that's going to sit down and listen to you.
And
So
you have to have that kind of bond, because it's certain it's certain people that can actually bring out the toxic side in you. And again, I'm not married, and I feel like the person that I'm with now, that this is going to be my husband. I said that earlier today, but I haven't been married, and I can't say it was a relationship with the past person that, you know, I was dealing with before. I would get so angry where I would physically want to put hands on them.
Oh, absolutely.
I physically, like, where to the point where I wanted to kill. Like, I seen red, like, and then it's like, that's the situation that I'm in now with the communication that we have. It would never get to that level. Like, that was my relationship now. That never been brought out of me. That's not something that I urge to do, because before I felt like I was the masculine person. I had to fend for myself. I had to figure out what was going on for myself. I had to protect myself. So I was in like rare mode, like you da 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 da. I always complaining. And in my situation, I feel so safe where it's like I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream. I don't have to do this. So,
and that's what we need. We're supposed to be, you know, leveled out. Like, you're not supposed to be someone that's going to be toxic and bring those things to get you in trouble out. You know, those
Right. You
those
go to
negative
jail.
vibes. Yeah, that's not the type of person you're supposed to be with. You know, as a woman, you know, trying to be successful, you know, raising your daughters, you know, our kids, and because
Right.
they're watching us, you know, and
Absolutely.
we always want the best for them. So why not the best for us? And being with someone that is truly your soulmate, like, you do feel good and you do feel safe. Like, I don't worry about anything. Joshua, don't make me call my husband. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it
Right.
is. Like, I don't, it's kind of like, like a little girl, you know, with their dad, and they feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
And that's how we want to feel, because we need that as a woman, no matter how strong we are. Yeah, we're independent. We can do this. I've done that too. I've raised my children, and I didn't have help. And so I met Joshua, and he's like, no, we do this shit together.
Together.
You're not doing this by yourself. And as an independent woman, I didn't understand. I'm like, oh, hell no. What you want from me is something.
You're trying to control
Right.
me. I don't want
You
it.
know,
No.
so-
Yeah. You're not finna get me trapped up in. And I actually truly felt that way until I actually got in this situation. It's like, what? It was first like, well, hold on now.
It seems
I
a
can't
little-
let you have
yeah.
this much control over me, because if I do, then I'm gonna sink down to a place where after the relationship with my baby father, my motto was, if I allow you to feed me, you can easily starve me. So I can't allow myself to be put in a position like that anymore. So before I let you starve me, I'm gonna have a whole backup deep freezer full of, you know what I'm saying, full of shit. I'm not gonna allow you to do that. But the situation I'm in now, it's like, it's a team. Like, they had this thing where they were asking random couples, what is your best relationship advice? And it was a white lady, and she was like, I could tell you this. When you come in a relationship, you cannot give 50%.
Absolutely.
She said you have to give 100% because if he's giving 100%, you giving 100%. Y'all are both giving your all to each other. 50% is you giving half, and it's never going to be
Right.
the same amount. And she was like, just give your 100% to each other, not 50, not half, but 100%. And I was like,
Absolutely, yeah.
that absolutely makes sense. And you know, if my man don't got it, I got it. If he got it, if I don't have it, he got it. So it's more of a team, and it's us against the world. Is I got your back, you got my back. You make me feel safe, I make you feel secure.
But how much you like? Do you know, like, understanding like how much relief that is from us, like being Superwoman, you know, trying to be Superwoman,
Absolutely.
and doing all of this stuff, and then actually having someone there that's truly there for you and not just there. You know what I'm saying? Like a body, like you're here to help me, and if there's something that I can't get or something I can't do, I can lean on you to help me, and just that feeling alone is amazing.
It is, but I get kind of, I still get kind of like I have to do this when it comes to like the housework. I feel like I have to do this when it comes to the kids. I have to do this. This is not something when it comes to like anything that considered nurturing, or I feel like there's something I have to do, and I can't. I don't feel comfortable letting him do that. But if it was financially, I'm like, hey, I need you to put some gas in my car. I need you to. I don't mind, and which is weird, but in the same sense, he'd be like, you know, you ain't got to clean up. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'll go do it. I'm like, no, I got it. And that's so new to me. Like, you need me to go pick up. I pick up the kids. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I already got it set off where I could get off work and go pick them up. And I got it. You don't have to do that. And I'll just be looking like, is this shit real?
Yes, it feels,
Because even with the father of my kids, like financially, he took care of everything. But anything that came with like domestically, no. If I was working and he was sitting at home and the kids had to be picked up, I had to go pick up the kids. No matter if he was sitting there doing something. Like if I'm paying these bills, and this is just what was expected. If I'm paying these bills, you're going to go make sure these kids is taking a daycare. You're going to make sure, even if he goes with me, but it was something that I had to do that I felt that, you know, I had to do. And coming in a relationship where it's like, are you serious? Like, that's not normal to me.
Right, yeah.
But it's
normal.
It's a fucking great feeling.
It is.
Because I used to be wild, boy. You couldn't tell me nothing. I used to show. Listen, we can't even get into that because, you know, I had to say, and my boyfriend hate this shit, but I was a wild boy. I was a real wild.
Lord Jesus.
I was a wild one. I want to get into, so y'all know we have to do sex talk with Icky Vicky, and we gonna start it out. Why you always blush when I do that? Let me whisper that. Sex talk with Icky Vicky. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Victoria Rosa. Is she?
Icky Vicky, it get real sticky when you licky. He eat it like a boss with a pension. He got something to prove when he in it. Don't drown in the pool when you swimming. I hope you don't drown, baby, keep up. Cause when you put it down, I'ma keep up. And when you put it down, I'ma keep up. Bad bitch and I own it. Savage, no.
She said it's like a boss with a pension. You heard that? Yes. So this is Sex Talk with Icky Vicky. I want to get into something like more of men. So like men that have high sex drive, and women, what you have to do to make sure that you're pleasing your man with the high sex drive. Even if you have a low sex drive, you got to make sure that you're keeping your man satisfied, because you don't want your man coming out here filled with cum. You need to empty them sacks and make sure that stomach is full before he leave the house, so he won't have to empty them sacks and fill that stomach up with somebody else's food.
Oh my God.
I have to say that though, but is that not factual?
It is.
It's absolutely factual. Ladies, please, your man, make sure you take care of your man. Because my man is going to be taken care of. I don't give a damn what. Oh, you a simp. I damn sure is. That's my man. He's going to get whatever he wants. So, you know, men have like a higher sex drive. Well, a lot of men have a higher sex drive than a lot of women. Mm-hmm. Some women, you know, can keep up with it. But that's why a lot of men cheat, because their sex drive is very, and I'm not commending it at all, but their sex drive is very high. Men think about sex 7 seconds. Every 7 seconds. That's like crazy. Picking up a glass, like, oh, damn. I maybe drank out this glass. This would make me horny because I watched it. I'm thinking about like how she sipped out of that glass. Now he's getting turned on with this and this and that. So, like, men can have orgasms just thinking about sex. Just dreaming about having a sexual encounter with somebody. They could just have like an orgasm. So, to have a healthy relationship, especially with your man, make sure you're doing everything that you can to please your man. Ladies, listen to me. Now, y'all might not want to hear this, but you need to hear this. If y'all driving, you know, y'all leave a restaurant or something, and men like spontaneous. You got to be spontaneous. They like spontaneity. You got to make like, man, come here, baby. Let's pull over and do like a little quickie in the parking lot. When I tell you excitement like that will have your man like, okay, yes. Do you do that?
We have.
That excitement, the unknown, what we about to walk into. Also, like even if they're asleep, and this men with high sex drive, even men that doesn't have high sex drive, just if you wake up to go use the bathroom when you get back in bed, you know your man is asleep. Just roll over a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Tickle that thing a little bit. And go ahead and drop down and open them jaws. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and slightly, you know, go ahead and give them some oral sex, or what you call it, give them some head. That's going to be exciting. They're going to be like, oh yeah. Yeah, especially when they wake up with that morning wood. You know, they roll up and it hit your leg a little bit. Just go ahead and be like, I'll take care of that. Keep your man excited. Keep him on his toes. He don't know what's next. You never know what's next. Even when you're driving. Exciting. Y'all done went out to a dinner. Y'all got a few drinks and you driving home. And it's not something that you usually do. Reach over there and give a hand job. They will love that. Would you rather your man go look for some kind of excitement? Listen, I have told my man, I have multiple personalities. You can get all of them if you want it. You get the excitement me, the boring me, the in-house me, the fun me. Which one you want? And keep your man excited. Always keep him on his toes, especially when you have sex. A man like a woman to take control. But not be in control. Right. And I don't know if you understand that.
Absolutely.
Like, take control, but let your man lead it. So if you like, okay, I'm going to initiate this. We're going to make this happen. This is going to look like, all right. And then once that happens, you let your man take control. You know how exciting that is for a man. Even like, say for instance, your husband just oh, baby. At work, I just did this, and we got this, or I just had a game, or I just killed my show. He feeling hype at the type, like, oh my God, you congratulate him. What you do next?
I'm about to be your groupie.
Drop them draws. Yes, baby, we about to celebrate just automatically. Just be spontaneous, and it doesn't necessarily have to be pertaining. Well, yes, it does, because men are sexual beings. And I feel like men can have casual sex, but when it comes from a woman that they love, and the spontaneousness and the excitement within that, that's going to keep your man. Make sure y'all do this for your man, ladies. Because men have high sex drives, and you wonder why they cheat because you're not excited enough. Be exciting.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So what if you are exciting and they still
want to cheat? I'll go out. then I have to figure out what excites them, because apparently I'm not doing something exciting enough. But a lot of men that don't cheat because they're unhappy. A lot of men cheat because they like having sex. So they don't cheat for, like, women cheat for emotional connection. We all know that. Men cheat because they want something to do. They want the excitement. So say, for instance, and this is my personal opinion, he's still cheating. There's something that's lacking in you that he's not getting. So what you want to do is try to fill that void. Or you might be dealing with a man that want to be in a poly relationship. And is that something that you're willing to do, to accept, to please your man? Then now you got 2 women at home. Ain't no damn way you're going to go out and cheat unless you're going to bring some more home. And we do have that. But a lot of men that be in poly relationships that have more than 2 wives, they are trying to procreate to build on their legacy. Mm-hmm. But if a man's going to, if he still cheats, right? And it's nothing you can do physically to please him, then that's when, you might have to just move on and take your excitement somewhere else to somebody who appreciates it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at that point, you don't know. It's just like, but a lot of men sleep with other women because they're not mature enough to understand what they have. Mm-hmm. So if they don't understand what they have, then they'll never get the concept of sleeping with one woman. And their sex drive is extremely high, so they're going to have to go out and seek something else. With that being said, ladies, please your man. Make sure you have a good business plan behind that. And make sure you understand what a boss and a great man, a boss woman and a great man can do together. Because they can build dreams or they can build legacies. And what we're trying to build around here?
Legacies.
That part. Thank you for tuning in to Real Fantasy Podcast on I Say Podcast Network. Again, this is your girl Victoria Rosa.
I'm Mrs. Chantel Wilkins.
And y'all tune in next week. And we out.
Real Fantasy Podcast.
Real Fantasy. You could say a little, or you could say a lot. Dreams are what you ask for, real is what you got. Take a few shots with a queen on the line, a rose in the middle, with love on the side. It's all a vibe tonight. It's all a vibe tonight. Make sure you tune in tonight.